Hi everyone, this is Mike the Gamer Guy here for a sort of different timed stream. This is, a Friday, and at 6 o'clock, so not our usual time, but with the holidays and everything, things got pushed around a little bit, and, well, here we are now. And by we, I mean myself, and as well as Thomas, who has made a few appearances on the channel before, and in the past has done all sorts of streams with me. So he's here.
Hello.
He was responsible for part of this stream in a way, so I figured that we should bring him along with, and it'll be a grand old time. So first of all, let's get into the points of interest that we have for this week. And for starters, something that Tom brought to my attention, and I saw the story about this briefly, but I didn't really look into it much further, is we have a Nintendo Direct that was sort of
rumored.
Rumored. Of an apparent leak that a Nintendo Direct will be happening in January, and those are always huge events. They're like little mini E3s, especially for us since we don't really care about the other companies all that much.
Yeah.
Getting these little Nintendo Directs about what they do about 4 a year now, right? Is really an exciting thing. So I'm looking forward to that, but nothing's really confirmed. I don't even know what I would guess would happen, other than Mother 3, which is always
Metroid 4, maybe.
Oh, sure.
Some Pokemon? No, not Pokemon yet. Pokemon's gonna be next year.
Next year, Pokemon?
2019, we'll go ahead and get news for Pokemon for Switch.
Save all the predictions for the inevitable E3 video we do, because we're almost always wrong, so...
Oh, this is a Nintendo Direct, though.
I suppose so. But yeah, that's coming up. Next up, I wanted to talk about this. This is Panda Baby. This has been a unlicensed pirate game based on Donkey Kong Country, actually, which has been known about for a really long time, but no one's ever dumped it. It is now dumped. We can now experience Panda Baby.
Finally play Panda Baby.
I know we've all been. I know you've been waiting for this for a very long time.
That's been my dream.
Apparently, it's pretty bad. I think it uses a similar engine to.
But it has pandas in it.
The Hacker.
How could it be bad?
I think it's Dragon Co's engine. That's how.
Oh.
If you've ever played the Hacker, then you kind of know what to expect. Not terrible, but the jumping is kind of wonky and it's just not great, especially in comparison to other unlicensed games. With that being said, Christmas time, right? Holiday season. I got my girlfriend Harvest Moon 64. Here is Harvest Moon 64. This is what I got. But I'm an idiot because I didn't think that Nintendo 64 bootlegs and reproduction carts are a thing now. I didn't even consider it, even though I was very well aware of this. Have you seen this before?
No, I haven't.
This is Ocarina of Time Master Quest. They ripped the image off the GameCube disc, and then they've found a way to stick it onto a cartridge. So these are out there now, and I wasn't even thinking about it, and I purchased it. Instantaneously, we both knew that there was something very wrong about this cartridge, and we opened it up, and this is what we were greeted to. As you can tell, definitely not a classic N64 board, and that was a little bit disappointing, but it kind of adds a certain amount of character to it, so that's fun, and I decided to hold on to it. For now, anyway. We're going to check to make sure it works, I guess, tonight. Possibly on stream, we'll see. But that is that. Let's move in to some games and what all happened this Christmas. So, Bailey got me the first thing we're going to talk about. And maybe I should have grabbed some pictures of this, but I'll just describe it. This is by the guy who made the ABS Retro USB. It's a multi-cart of all of his previous Christmas cartridges. Every year he releases a cartridge for Christmas with a little game or NES demo thing. This year he put them all on a multi-cart, but what's so special about this one is that it actually has an LCD for the label. So it's a variable label. If you select like the 2012 game, then the label changes to the label from the 2012 game release. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And the possibility for this technology being used in cool ways for EverDrives or other flash carts is really nifty. And the games themselves are pretty swell too. So, Tom, would you like to play some of the games?
Yeah, I'd like to play some games.
I
Also, the cartridge itself lights up and does a little light show.
That's a good point too.
Along with how you play the game.
Yeah. Some games have specific things that the LEDs inside the cartridge are synced up to, which is really cool.
Really interesting.
So, here you go, Tom.
It almost makes like the cartridge itself like part of the game, you know?
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
Which one should I play?
Okay,
though?
so I guess I'll just give you my brief opinions. The most interesting one to me is 2015. It's a really interesting platformer. Though the rest of them are pretty interesting aside from 2008, which isn't really even a game. It's more of like the cartridge, you got the cartridge light show, and then a soundtrack, essentially. Christmas soundtrack.
Okay.
So just select whatever.
I'm going to go with 2011 because it's on fire.
Okay.
Okay. Merry Christmas 2011.
Let's try and turn up the sound just a little bit so you can kind of hear it.
Okay.
So you might be familiar with this game a little bit, Tom.
Yeah.
Do you recognize this?
Yeah. What is it? It looks familiar, but I can't remember.
It's Warlords.
Oh.
The classic Atari game where you use the paddle controller. This is a 4-player version that actually you can use the 4-score on, which was the adapter for the NES that allowed you to plug in 4 controllers. The AVS has that pre-built into it, but I don't have any other controllers on me, which was pretty short-sighted.
I'm sorry for picking this one then.
It's fine. You can kind of tell that each other player has a certain amount of AI, I guess.
Yeah.
The yellow person tracks your moves exactly. The blue person kind of follows the ball, and the green person...
I'm not the yellow and red person?
You are... Well, I think you're the red person. I guess it doesn't really matter, right? You could be yellow or red, depending on your point of view.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, you're red now.
Yeah. No.
You're dead now. Green wins! Okay.
Oh, no.
So, unfortunately, I think to get back to the menu, yeah, you have to reboot the entire console. Another neat thing about this, and I was telling you about this earlier, Tom, is you see how the LCD is oriented so that if we look at it, the label looks the correct way.
Yeah.
If you were playing this on a top loader, it would actually change the orientation to fit the top loader. So there's a lot of interesting tech going on here.
Next, I think I'll go with 13 because I see ninja stars.
That's a great choice. So another thing that's worth mentioning, aside from the great soundtrack in my opinion, which has a very Camerica vibe to it, kind of bubbly, funky Christmas music, a lot of these games actually ended up getting re-released in a different way as launch titles for the AVS with slightly different graphics. I'm not 100% sure, but this one reminds me quite a bit of Assimilate, which was an AVS launch title. It's just sort of a standard kind of frantic space shooter.
Yeah, like Galaga.
Yeah. It's probably most similar to Galaga.
Are those presents good or evil?
Presents are evil in this game, I believe.
Oh, man.
Is that what those are?
Well, some of them I've seen presents.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't figured out the game entirely. But you get bonus points for completing each area faster, obviously.
Not complete. Very fast. This is easier than some.
There you go.
Oh,
this is easier than some. As it goes into the insane.
That wasn't fair. We all know it.
Mm. Okay, try and grab the present. Oh, you killed it. That's fine. What interests me the most is that there's a fair amount of effort put into all these games. Even as a simple space shooter, there's some interesting stuff going on here, and I think the farther you get, the more interesting like patterns they start taking. Jeez.
Oops. How many lives do I have left?
I think 2. We can move on to the next one whenever you feel like it.
Okay. One sec. Let me complete this area if I can. Yep, I only have 1. Okay. Wow.
Oh, you can actually enter your name. Oh, and one thing I found that was pretty cool is that there seems to be some sort of save. I don't think it's battery backed. It might be SRAM based. I think is what it's called anyway. So I don't see a battery. The cartridge is translucent.
Gotta put in my name.
Obviously, I guess because it's got the LEDs in it.
Oh,
Awesome. All right. So that's another one. Can I show you the one that's probably the strangest game on here?
Sure.
And I'll try and see how quickly you can figure this out, because Bailey had to kind of tell me what I was doing. It's this one. I believe it's called Killer Queen Arcade.
Okay. Oh, how nice.
So yeah, we get this beautiful Rod the Robot thing. Alright, so you're the red character at the top.
Am I supposed to collect all my red guys? No. But where's the blue guy? Is there a race?
All these things you're saying, these are my exact reactions.
Okay, why are those both blue now? What's up with that blue guy?
You want me to explain to you kind of what's going on here?
Yes, please.
You want to control the snail, and you kill enemies by running into them. Your goal is to make it so that your red guys are on the snail as often as possible.
I see.
And you kill enemies by kind of running into them, and it's sort of like not entirely understood how that works, but it seems that if you get hit from above, that kills you. You can kind of just run into the smaller guys. But it's very strange, and I don't think I've ever seen another game like this, to be honest. Oh, Tom, you're gonna do
close.
it. You're gonna win the Christmas snail race. I think you got this. Oh my god. It kind of seems like the only enemies that can kill you are the other main character. You did it, Tom.
I won.
What do you think of that one?
I didn't know I was doing for the longest time.
Okay, well, we'll give this just a few more.
A few more goes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see here. I haven't done 12, 9, or 10, or 6, 15, 16, or 8 yet, right?
Right.
I'm gonna go ahead and do 9.
Okay, so you are the human at the bottom. This is another game that is Fourscore compatible. Wait, what is this? Wait, how'd you do that? Human,
Percy.
robot, thrower, runner? I don't know what any of that means.
I guess. Where am I? Where am I?
Aren't you at the top?
No, that's not me.
Did you select 2 robot characters?
Maybe.
1 second. Let's do a quick reset. Oh, wait, okay. Let me see here. Okay. There you go. So, this game reminds me of something, but I can't really remember what at present. It's kind of like Space Invaders Versus, I guess. You got the various terrains that can protect you, and you can destroy them by throwing stuff or shooting stuff.
Can you destroy the mountains?
Nope, the mountains are permanent, and I think the snowmen give you power-ups sometimes. And then, depending on which button you press, is which direction you shoot. So A goes that way and B goes the other way.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's.
And you can ricochet it off the wall. It's
Oh, I see.
yeah, it's kind of reminiscent of Combat for the Atari in a way. Round's almost over, I think. Hey, you did it! And you can like, I think there's power-ups you can collect too that make you go faster. Another game that would be really good with 4 people, but as a single-player experience, great. Okay, let's do one more, Tom. You get to
Okay.
pick one more.
I guess I'll pick the one that you were talking up so much.
Yes.
Gonna do 2015 Christmas.
So this is, first of all, a great intro demo with the little Mario Superstar at the top. You don't
Is
use
that what that is?
Yeah, see?
Oh my gosh, it is that.
It's also on the cartridge label too. You can see the little
Oh.
Superstar.
Cool, cool.
You don't really see these like 3D illusions on NES very often, so this is a pretty cool thing.
This is a pretty bare looking Christmas tree though.
Yeah. I suppose so.
Okay.
This
this doesn't look like the first level.
is level 27.
Oh. Okay.
Do you want to play the first level, or do you got it? This is a game called 12 Seconds. In this case, it's the variation 12 Seconds of Christmas, like 12 Days of Christmas. That's kind of the joke. You have 12 seconds to maneuver this guy.
Wait, I didn't.
You have 12 seconds to maneuver the guy. If you aren't able to complete it, then your guy dies. But sometimes you have to just kill your own guy to be able to make platforms in order to more easily
Oh my
get across
gosh,
areas.
I'm so bad right now. I can't even.
It's very.
I want to start at the
Okay. It's very
Okay.
Twitch resource. Okay, so I just hit that way. Well, I mean, you can see my times, which are by no means great, but I just kind of went through this. What was that? Okay. Woo. It was just a sort of simple but very clever puzzle game, which steals its assets from a few places, as we'll kind of see, I think, shortly. First of all, I think I see the Mega Man energy tank, or energy pickup. But then you have Dr. Wily, who's just clearly Dr. Wily standing there. So we have the bootleg theme is here, even in this retro USB cart. This as well was released as an ABS launch title. Nicely done. Some levels can be beaten without killing a single guy. Some require multiple deaths. Oops. Oh, in this case, you can like move the two exit parts together. I don't think that's required, but it's something you can do. Seems like you're struggling with the controls a bit, Tom.
He doesn't jump as high as I'd like him to.
Mm.
Okay,
very twitch reflex. Oh my god. There you go. Alright. Well.
Purple Ganon?
Yes.
Okay.
There's little messages at the end of each one. So that was the Retro USB 2017 cart. A great thing that I'm so thankful for. So another thank you to Bailey for that. Next up, we have a gift that Tom got me here.
We're doing that one next?
I mean, might as well.
Okay.
We're switching over to composite video now, guys. I hope you've been enjoying the beautiful, crisp 720p signal, because things are about to get really ugly, and I'm not exactly sure how this will look. So
keep your fingers crossed.
Give me 1 second while I try and set. Okay, so this beautiful resolution and strange aspect ratio is brought to you by the PXP3 Slim Station. This is a Sega Genesis clone. I don't think it's an emulator, but rather an actual portable hardware clone with AV out, and we're going to be taking a look at it, and it's got some interesting stuff on here.
Yeah, let's try Angry Birds.
Yes, the somewhat famous Angry Birds port is in fact represented here. I don't think I've played the Genesis version except for just briefly when I first got this. Honestly, that's somewhat impressive looking.
Okay.
So we have poached eggs, Mighty Hoax. It looks so much better on the OBS screen, actually. Oh shoot, that was wrong.
Let's play stage 1.
It should be noted that the controls are slightly weird. I think it goes A, B, C at the bottom, and then you have this extra button at the top, because this thing is designed after a PSP. You have this extra button. Now,
you mean like Sega, right?
No, this looks like a PSP.
Yeah, PSP, but like it's supposed to be like a Sega.
It's supposed to be a Genesis controller. Well, Genesis system, but it has the controls of a PSP, which makes it a little awkward since the Genesis controller only has the 3 buttons.
Mm.
So I played the Famicom version of Angry Birds forever ago, and it looks to be pretty similar to this. This one is a little bit more technically impressive. But essentially you have a few angles, predetermined angles, and you just got to figure out which one is the best one. And if you guess correctly, then you win.
Your guess was excellent.
That wasn't bad, Tom. That kind of actually made sense. Good job.
Kind of mad.
Because of the eggs, the Angry Bird eggs.
Yes.
This game is horrible.
Okay, we
Now,
can move on.
I've never been a fan of the actual Angry Birds. This does seem to have more stages, though. So if you needed more Angry Birds on the Genesis, this is the way to do it. If you listen closely, you can hear this screams and cries of children who assembled this. I love my PXP3 Slim Station.
I want to see Zuma Bubbles.
Zuma Bubbles. This is a competent port of Zuma that I have not seen anywhere else. Tom, you introduced me to this port of Zuma. I didn't know the Genesis got a Zuma port. My bad. Bubbles Master. All the rights are reserved, too. It looks like OBS makes it look decent, but on my television, this signal is worse than RF by a mile. I've played some really bad ports of Zuma in my time. This is not horrible. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but like for the console, but it is not as bad. I think I played some Zuma port on a Dream Gear console once, and it was just completely unplayable. This one at least has animations for the ball moving across the screen.
Zuma.
It is Zuma, which I'm a pretty big fan of. Looks like even the power-ups are in here.
It's pretty impressive.
I'm sure that if
even though they clearly just stole this.
I'm sure that
you probably could.
If this
does it even reserve the ball for you?
I think so. I guess we could see. So I'll reserve that one. Now let's see if it gives us red. It does.
Okay.
Cool. Well, that works. That's another feature that probably wouldn't have been in another similar title. But like, if the concept of Zuma was around back in the day, I bet there would have been a much better port than this. Even though this is pretty decent, it's kind of slow, and controls a bit weird. Like the pointer is a sort of a strange choice. I know that this came from a PC game, but it's still a bit strange. Well, while we're on the topic of unlicensed originals, let's take a look at, where was it? Tekken Special 3. And I think this got a Super Nintendo port as well. But I thought it was Tekken 2. So this might be just a totally new Genesis thing that I'm not aware of.
Arcade mode? Versus mode?
Well, we got option mode.
Round time, 40 seconds. Fight two.
To easy. Roll change at continue. Oh, I get that. We'll make it easy on us. See if we can kind of just bang this one out. I don't know anything about Tekken. It looks a little bit like Virtua Fighter from...
You played Pokken Tournament.
Is that... Oh, that is a Tekken thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, this doesn't feel like Pokken Tournament, I can tell you that much. I've played a little bit of this.
Do your Hadouken.
Who am I? Oh, I'm Kazuya, okay. Whoa! What?
Why didn't you choose Lee?
I don't know. I don't know why I did that. So the graphics themselves are just sort of sprite-based. When on the menus they were more of like a 3D thing, but I don't know what I was expecting. I am just kind of mashing buttons. It appears to be a 2-button fighter, from what I'm seeing here? Top button doesn't seem to do anything. Oh man.
Oh my gosh. His kicks.
It's my best move.
Give him the kicks.
Low kicks are what destroy difficulty in these bootleg games. I think that's how I got through Top Fighter 2000. Was just low
kicking.
kicks. And Top Fighter, for those of you who don't remember, is the game that features Michael Jordan and Ryu, as well as Cyclops from the X-Men. Unfortunately, that's not included on here. The most incredible roster, if you ask me. Is there any in between? I was hoping for some between fight banter. So I want to show everybody one
Smurfs?
limitation.
You want to see Smurfs?
Is and another reason why I think this is probably hardware clone is that you boot up Sonic and Knuckles. And you get the, if I'm not mistaken, this is the copy protection screen.
No way.
It's saying,
No
don't
way.
steal the game. Don't be doing that.
No way, no way, no way, no way.
They introduced that question mark. That's a special bonus for those who stuck around. So yeah, Sonic Knuckles does not work, which is really disappointing because I happen to really like that game. Next up, everything else seems to work though, aside from Zool, which is another one that's you might be getting too
protected.
Yeah, it just doesn't start up. Cosmic Spacehead, one of my favorites, works. So does Mean Bean Machine, and Restar, which is an incredible Sega first-party game. But for now, let's look at one of the other titles I was happy to see included. Toy Story. Well, I do like to see Toy Story. Where is it? Oh, there it was. Super Mario Brothers. I believe this is a hack of the game Squirrel King. It's or Super Mario World, my bad. But it's based on Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, and uses maps from Mario 2.
What happens if you play 2-player?
I think Luigi's in the game. I think it swaps out probably between matches. Oh, that's right. Yeah, fireballs. But that being said, if you have you ever, how do you lift the boxes? Oh, there we go. Have you ever played Chip and Dale, Tom?
I think I've played a little bit of it.
In that game, it's actual simultaneous play. So, who's to say? Actually, I have not invested that much time in this particular Mario bootleg for Genesis. There are some other ones that are slightly more interesting to me, anyway. But I'm a big fan of Chip and Dale, so
this is one of the games that I sort of played.
Did you play a little bit of this one?
When I was checking out if your system actually worked.
Well, what are your opinions on?
I didn't make through the first level.
Okay.
It seemed fine. I didn't get the whole boxes, and I tried jumping on the enemies and stuff.
This is an ability you have? Sort of a Metal Gear-ish. This game is basically Metal Gear meets Mario meets Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. It's basically the greatest game ever made.
Oh. Of course.
And that's how you complete a level. Just kind of interesting to see it on here. Is there anyone, do you want to give it a try, Tom?
Bible Adventures.
Oh, it is the holiday season.
Actually, wait, Captain Planet? Never mind, go to
Captain Planet. I'll tell you, Tom, I played a little bit of this and was not impressed.
Hero takes pollution down to 0 or something. I don't remember.
That is Captain Planet. So Captain Planet Does anyone know about Captain Planet outside the United States?
Skill level. I want easy.
Do I need to explain what Captain Planet is, Tom? Is it like an explanation in order? I can't really tell.
He saves the planet from pollution. Usually.
He is like this this invention of Ted Turner to try and do an environmental message, but it's kind of just ridiculous and weird.
Yeah. Sounds about right. I don't remember this person.
That's Gaia. She's like the planet's protectress.
Like from Star Trek?
Gaia from Star Trek.
Wait. Guinan from Star Trek.
Nothing like that.
Okay, we've got...
That's Dr. Pathogen or something like that.
I remember her from OKJO.
Dr. Blight.
Yes.
That was close. To free Wheeler from Mal's mainframe, find and destroy the 5 computer screens. Good luck, the power is yours.
I almost did that to computer screens.
Wait. Oh.
Oh, okay.
So, your guy has the power of fire, I believe. Each of the Captain Planet characters had like a different elemental ability. And then one of them had like heart.
Yeah.
Because they ran out of ideas for elemental abilities.
Uh-oh. My energy's low. Oh.
To be honest, I was shocked when I found out there was a Captain Planet game at all.
Back on Hope Island. Okay. I give up. The planet is doomed.
Tom, look, there's a clock at the top that's actually counting down.
Oh.
Do you have real time to beat this game?
Oh.
That's kind of an interesting idea for how stupid a Captain Planet game is.
Okay. But that's enough of that.
We'll take a look at one more of the main games on here before I show you one of the neat features of the PXP3 Slim Station. And the game I want to look at is Cosmic Spacehead, or Linus Spacehead Cosmic Crusader was what it was called on the NES. And while I love the NES version on my Aladdin Deck Enhancer, this one is actually a really good, better version of the game, because you can control it like a human being would, which was a big problem that the other one had. This is a platformer text adventure, well, not adventure, but like point and click adventure crossover thing. Has all the weird specific things that you need to figure out, mixed with some platforming elements. So you pick up the money, and you gotta go this way, play the slot machines. Now on the NES, these parts were horrible because once Linus started moving, you could not control him whatsoever. Here, it controls really nicely. Granted, there is slight input lag on this television introduced because of the weird composite setup we have, but this is still miles and away better than how the NES version controls. It's also got really nice visuals too. Not that you could really tell. You collect enough of these candy bars and you get an extra life.
How nice.
It's very nice because you can lose them pretty quickly. So this is definitely in the need of a review sometime. Might need to get an actual cart though. So here's just an example of some of the point and click elements.
Oh, you got all the cherries.
$50. What is this? Password. I don't recognize this from the NES version. Well, that's nice. This is just a so much better version than the NES game. Weird. I do kind of prefer the
wow,
NES graphical style, though.
Expense paid trip to the car factory. That's the trip of a lifetime.
To a car factory? Alright, but I would love to spend more time on this, but honestly, I could get lost in it, so let's show off the amazing powers that the PXP3 has. And I've seen very similar products to this all over, like eBay.
Yeah.
So I wonder if the cartridges are cross-compatible, because does seem to be a hardware thing.
I wonder if there are more cartridges.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if we got one of the other systems, if the carts would basically have the same internal mechanisms. Here we got one with Mario on the front of it. It's Mario Party DS artwork, it looks like.
Yes.
You just pop it in the top. They're kind of shaped like Game Boy Advance cartridges.
Yeah.
And now it loads up the different games.
Sonic Spinball.
Gunstar Heroes, which is a classic. There was, let's see, the Simpsons game. Zool doesn't work, as I mentioned earlier. However, what does work? The classic.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
It was when I was playing Sonic last night, too, that I realized that the audio is a bit weird.
It's like slow, I think.
I think that's because it's PAL. But aside from it being, oh geez, this is crazy slow. Aside from that, there also just seems to be something kind of tinny and weird about the sound. On a handheld, it does not have this slowdown problem, by the way. The music plays at the correct speed and everything. Oh wait, you can't do that in the first one. But it does sound weird. Graphically, though, and in terms of responsiveness, this is a lot better than another Sega clone thing that I had for a while. It was an Act Games portable Genesis thing. I think that was an emulator. And it ran pretty slow and didn't look very nice. This looks much better, and that's kind of sad, to be honest.
I think those little children that helped make this.
Let's see if we can get a Chaos Emerald. And we'll try the other game. Of course, the number of games on these are completely overinflated, as always.
It's more like, I'd say around
like
30
games, right?
Well,
on the just the one cartridge.
Yeah.
Even though it advertises having many tens of
9
thousands.
hours.
Not doing too good at this.
No, you should try and do better.
I have beaten Sonic all the way through with all the Chaos Emeralds, because I was having one of those fluke days where you're just randomly good at a game for no reason. I do not think I could ever replicate that, no matter how hard I tried. We got a Chaos Emerald, cool. But being able to play Sonic in a nice handheld form is a positive.
It's nice.
Anything else on here? There is Fat Man. I don't know what's up with that. There's many interesting games that I definitely want to investigate at some point.
And we're back at Sonic Spinball.
So look at the last cartridge now?
Yep.
This one has Tails on the front and claims to have 900,000 games. So Samurai Showdown's classic. Another Simpsons game. This one's a pretty interesting game, but it seems kind of annoying, so I don't want to really... Oh, Spiritual Warfare Town. The classic Wisdom Tree title. Didn't we play this one time? Live?
We might have.
Wisdom Tree. Well, not Wisdom Tree, but Spiritual Warfare is a Zelda clone.
Oh, we might have.
Yep. This is the Genesis version of it.
Oh my gosh, I can play Zelda on my Sega Genesis.
With biblical overtones.
Go into the cave.
So actually, this doesn't look much better than the NES version. In fact, it looks identical.
Yeah.
There's a run button, though. I don't think that was in the NES version.
Good.
That's the blast processing at work. You gotta convert the people, and every once in a while you do a Bible.
Are you?
I think I got one. Jesus said that God's word is probably this one. The music's off again. That might just be the PAL setting. No, the cheers and the cheers and the shiz. This gives you more doves, which I think are the currency. Was it him?
Oh, you're so good at this.
I'm no biblical expert. I just answer how I think it wants me to. That oh Jesus, Bowtie's going crazy. Anyway, I think you can avoid all that if you want, and just pick up the bombs and stuff, which is really what this game is all about. Looks like Medusa. I think this is a girl with a balloon, actually. Anyway, that's spiritual warfare. Let's look. Maybe one more thing. One more thing.
One more.
Fantastic Dizzy is good.
What was the one that I
Oh, this
saw?
is, I think a pretty rare version of Tetris.
Oh, they have Flicky on here, too.
Flicky's a classic. We'll try this weird version of Tetris, because I believe this is really rare. Like, it had a super limited release, even more so than the NES Tetris game. It's probably the best looking Tetris game for that time period. I was not familiar with it until pretty recently.
What's up with the numbers, though?
Did it appear?
Yeah.
Those are point value you get. In Tengen's version of Tetris, you get points based on all sorts of
Based on your
conditions.
block placement?
I think it's partially how fast you put them down, but I don't know. Something about a lot of these early Tetris games is that not all of them really understood it exactly correctly. There's something that feels sort of weird about rotating blocks in it with a few pieces. Like, I think this one, for example. No, that's right. I don't know, it's just something I've noticed with a few. Seems kind of like contrary to normal Tetris conventions or something like that.
Do they have the T-shape? I don't think I've seen T-shape.
Yeah. You see the light blue?
Oh.
Yep. Yep, but it's just Tetris, based on the Tengen version, as I understand it, but with nice graphical upgrades. What more can you ask for? What more are you looking for?
Wait, there was one more game I wanted to see.
Oh, you're gonna bring the segment on just a little bit longer?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But it was just I wanted to look at it.
Okay.
Go down to the next page. Yeah, that one.
Taruto-kun. Alright. Looks anime-ish. Whoa!
Was this a Japanese-only game?
I'm gonna assume so. Probably would have packaged the English version if it was available, I guess. Oh, this is quite a colorful looking game. What? Is this like Mario Odyssey version 1.0, you can like possess objects. What? Yeah, you kind of possess objects and then can throw them. It's pretty nice looking for a Genesis game. Just kind of a weird Japanese school-themed side-scrolling action game with an interesting mechanic. This one might deserve a little bit more investigation, Tom. Thanks for pointing this one out.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna guess this is probably based on some sort of anime or other property that we're not familiar with.
Probably. I don't know.
Well, very interesting. Thank you, Tom. Next up, we're gonna have to set up another thing here real quick, but I got it all right next to me. As you guys know, been investigating those Brazilian Super Nintendo bootlegs. Well, I got some. So that's what we're gonna have up for you in just 1 second. Alright, so I got it all set up here. I got 2 Brazilian Super Nintendo games. The first is Super Mario World Revised, which is what we'll be looking at right now. And it seems to be a very, very extremely early ROM hack of Super Mario World. And I'll kind of mess with the settings here maybe. Make this screen look better. So these cartridges come to me. They're Brazilian cartridges that I got through the UK, and I assume they originated in China. Yep, as a gift.
Not from me though.
See if that helps. There we go. I'm like, is it not gonna like that? There. So here we have like a proper, nice looking Super Mario World. There we go. That's about as good as it gets, I think. Okay, so as you can see, this came out in 2000, which is, I believe, the same year that the first version of Lunar Magic came out, which is, of course, the de facto Mario World ROM hacking tool, and it definitely shows. This is like baby's first Mario World hack.
Yes.
Also, no saves, even though or multiple files. And no changed text, which is unfortunate.
Looks like Bowser's at it again.
Again. So the first sign that this is an early Lunar Magic ROM hack, aside from the sort of obvious copyright date, is you get into it, and they messed with Yoshi's house in like the most confusing and pointless way. He now has like a skyscraper of a tree place.
It's quite a nice house.
Yes, he's definitely moved up. And there's more of there's like a level here, but not really. This Yoshi is here, but like he can't really do anything. There are some pipes you can go down, but it appears that the only purpose of the pipes is to kill you. You also see the use of this block, which is just kind of ugly. Turns into the power block when you touch it. That's one of the things that comes with Lunar Magic. I think these rooms just kill you. I've not been able to figure out what the point of these rooms are. Anyway, this game is very linear in how you approach it. Unlike the original Mario World, where you kind of go whichever way you want.
Yeah.
You have to follow the rules that this guy has set up for you to tackle the game. And that means getting the Yellow Switch Palace, so we have to do that.
Nice. Were those enemies ever meant to interact, though?
The Rex and the Goomba Apple Man? I don't think so. I don't think they're in levels together. The Rexes are used pretty sparingly throughout Super Mario World, which kind of makes them one of my favorite characters. I think they were in Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, and that's about the only other appearance. So a lot of the environments feel very sort of haphazardly stuck together, which is what you can kind of come to expect from these kind of hacks. Doesn't mean it's completely devoid of good ideas, but mostly this does feel pretty bare bones in terms of real effort, and you'll see some things here. For example, I don't think that the guy knew how to remove the exit-enabled pipe here, so instead they just blocked it off and put a new one up here, which acts exactly the same. So I'm not sure why the other one was there in the first place. I'm also not a huge fan of calling this game Mario World Revised. I feel like it's a bit pretentious as sort of a conceit to it. Me and you, Tom, are familiar with ROM hacks that are kind of pretentious. We played a Pokemon one called Advanced Adventure, which claimed to be like...
saintly.
Yeah, like, it claimed to be like the good Pokemon, essentially.
Much darker.
Yeah, darker and better, and we're gonna have a real storyline. I kind of get the vibe when they call this revised. Like, we took Nintendo's crappy Mario World game and we revised it. Now it's good, and this is the result. It's not that impressive. I'm also doing pretty poorly. Trying to step up my game here. Thankfully, though, with the exception of a few parts, this game is not broken in its difficulty, which is a problem that ROM hacks can also run into quite a bit. And this one does not have that problem, so kudos there.
But you've only played the 11th level exit, haven't you?
Well, it's actually more like 13 exits after you factor in that you have to complete this level in the Switch Palace to be able to really progress it all, but yeah.
Which the Switch Palace is an actual level.
Yeah. I did play through the second castle recently. I've been spending a lot of time with this one because it's weird, and it was hard to find really any record of this game when I was first researching it online. I did eventually come across something, so this isn't like some game that kind of was retroactively lost to time and needs like a dump or anything. But it's really obscure, which makes it strange as a choice. So it's a bizarre choice, but yeah. If you want to play this game, it's out there. Just look up Super Mario World revised version 2.1, and you can kind of give it a try yourself in an emulator. But as I understand it, this was commercially available in Brazil, which is why it's of interest to me. There was another one online too called Mario Sunnyside World, which had a little bit more going on, and that's one that I'm going to be on the lookout for as well. I'd like to eventually compile a list of all the Mario World ROM hacks that were commercially available there. It's sort of interesting.
Now you have to fly the other way.
So like, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It's got interesting ideas. But it does not have the polish of something like, what's a really good Mario World? Like Super Demo World, Legend Continues, which is an incredible ROM hack released by the guy who created Lunar Magic.
Here we go.
So we're gonna start to get like an idea of why. Well, I guess maybe it's a level after this. Yeah, I think it is a level after this.
Why we needed the yellow switch.
Yeah.
Box hit.
Is Yoshi in here? Yeah, there's Yoshi.
Gotta grab Yoshi so you can sacrifice him later.
Well, you haven't seen the ending, and maybe we'll get that far. I mean, it's a pretty short game, much like Super Mario World, but it does have some annoying things. We'll see how far we get.
Will we get to the end? Who knows?
Kind of sounded like you were doing like a Game Center thing there.
I was going to, but I needed you to die.
It's fair enough.
And you didn't die like you were supposed to.
Come on. This game's also prone to some graphical glitches. We haven't seen any yet, but sprites disappearing and stuff, and I'm not sure if that's the fault of the way that this guy constructed the levels, or the cartridge itself, and just made out of like bad materials. I don't know. I don't know what causes it. But there's definitely, every once in a while, you'll see something like that wouldn't happen in Mario World.
On to why we needed the yellow
I believe this
switch.
is it. This level is technically completable without it, but it was very difficult, and it required some tricky jumping. You can't do this. Instead, you gotta jump off an information box and do some stuff.
Now you're cheating.
Well, like, here we go. Like, no polish, like I said. The lava is, I don't know what exactly that would be.
Blue.
Well, blue and orange.
So what if it's blue and orange?
Well, I'm just saying that they...
Do you have a problem with blue and orange lava?
It's like Kool-Aid. When normally in Mario World, it's very, like, this red or gray even. Or even the purple palette that you don't really see used in the game looks better than the one that they ended up with. But like I said, this level is still completable. The one after it, though, you cannot actually get through without having done the Switch Palace, which is pretty lame.
They use that star block. I know I talked about this yesterday, but I'm on stream now, so...
Yeah.
They use that star block so little in this game, it feels like.
Very sparingly.
And it just makes me wonder why even put it in.
Well, that's the parts I like the most about these older games, especially, is it feels like some levels just have like one gimmick, and you never see it again, and it makes that level feel so much more special.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you don't have the cape, you have to hit that block to get up here, and the only way you'd have the cape is if you went to the Switch Palace anyway. So
yeah.
It is a required step, even though I guess technically you could lose if you wanted to for some reason. If you were going for low %.
Could do some... You might be able to do like some tricky jump stuff with the shell.
Darn. Oh,
You sacrificed
no.
Yoshi. Was
For
it worth it?
No, it wasn't worth it.
I didn't think so.
But now you'll get to see why you need to complete the palace.
I don't know. I think you might be able to do some tricky jump stuff with, like, the Koopa.
I've tried that. Well, I guess...
Like, speedrunner stuff.
Yeah, I guess you could do a, one of those shell bounces off this wall. But then we're far beyond the my ability.
Or is there, like, a secret block, maybe?
No. It's required. And there's other parts in the game where he also tries to make it a required thing to use Switch Palace areas. But he doesn't program it right, so we can get around those.
Did he change this?
I think this is slightly different. I think there should be a taller guy if this was just the vanilla version.
But this is the revised,
This is the revised version.
which changes everything.
For people who just thought Nintendo got it completely wrong with that other Mario World game. It's a bit tricky.
Nice.
Oh, what? How do I do this? Okay, well there's something at least. What? Huh? What the heck? Like, these are those little things I'm talking about. They give it away.
Yeah.
Alright.
Get the mushroom.
Wasn't there a second guy before?
Yeah, but I think he might have jumped off. Oh.
It's unfortunate. Maybe if we climb up there it'd be easier.
We got a fire flower. Yeah.
I have made a few Mario ROM hacks in my time. And none of them are good, but...
Go down that tube again.
I think it'd just be a waste of time.
Yeah. This one. Star.
But I do feel like I have a very, at least rudimentary understanding of what makes a level feel like it had effort put into it. I don't get that feeling so much from Revised.
Well, you don't feel like a lot of work was put in?
There's just little like visual clues.
Nice.
Like how the rope doesn't really connect and stuff. And then the design is pretty bizarre sometimes.
Get to the halfway point. Wait, is this the end of the level?
No, I don't. I think there's a little bit more. That being said, if I would have had this as a kid, having played the heck out of Super Mario World, this would have been incredible. Having it more Mario World levels. That's right. The yellow ones are tricky. Just throw some red coins there because Lunar Magic has that asset.
Are you upset by the red coins, Michael?
I'm not really upset by them, but those and those and some other objects in the game just kind of feel like plastered on. Like they don't really need to be there. Just put them there because you had access to them, which is not how you design a level. Like I was saying earlier about how it's nice when Nintendo has like something that's in one level only.
Yeah.
And then you never see it again. It's kind of like the opposite here. Alright, attempt number 2. Of course, this all becomes
nice
stupidly
about-
easy if you have the cape.
It's nice how they give you coins to know where to jump down to.
Yeah, well, that's like an essential thing.
Yeah, but I've seen Mario Maker levels that don't do that.
Oh yeah.
So
This does feel more thought out than a Mario Maker set. And I guess it would have to be. The guy had enough dedication to complete a entire ROM hack. I think every level in the game has changed as far as I can tell.
You can't say that for all games.
Yeah. Well, other people would just make a shorter hack.
Yeah. But it also adds my least favorite enemy to this level.
The Magic Koopa?
Yeah, I don't like him.
Magic Koopa's the best enemy.
No, he is the worst, Michael.
Tom, do you want to know a programming fact about the Magic Koopa?
Yeah.
Apparently, like every frame that it's not on screen, it's zooming around the screen, looking for a possible place to land, and the place where it lands is the first like randomly chosen spot that it finds, or something like that.
Interesting.
I was trying to get the quick kill. Please don't let me die to this guy. Okay.
Well, you could have faced some embarrassment there. But
Yeah, I
you
know.
didn't. So, everything's good. And we saved Yoshi, and he thanked us like he should. We deserve all the thanks. Castle number 1. I remember us figuring out how to replay the castle levels by pushing like LR and start, I think it is.
Isn't it just LR at the same time?
It might just be LR.
Let's see. That was what I found out was that actually isn't the case in the Japanese version.
Yeah.
Yep, L and R together, and you can replay a castle. We don't need to. Probably the biggest disappointment of this is that there's no map changes. There's no changes to the overworld map, aside from one, which we may have time to look at. And even then, it's not a new level or anything. Like a new space to play. When you hear Mario World Revised, you kind of think, I don't know, just adding new things.
This reminds me of a Mario Maker level.
Yeah. Taking the Mario world that you love and then just filling it with more stuff. This is more like an attempt to fix problems with Mario World that didn't exist. Like, these bonus games are too easy. If only they didn't work.
You were supposed to hit the one to the left, Michael.
The invisible one?
Yes.
Okay. That was my major mistake there.
Yeah. Learn to do better next
We'll also
time.
see if we can look at the bonus game, which has changed, I believe. But not in like a way that's interesting or anything. It's just kind of made to be strange.
So, you mean the one where you go ahead and they're spinning around and
Yep.
you're trying to get the same for each one?
Mm. So now, well, let me show you that map addition he did. The incredible addition to the map. He added this vine. This goes nowhere, and actually when you reveal the spaces next to the ghost house after beating it, parts of it get cut off, and you can actually see that the clouds are cut off by the vine, which just looks, unpolished and bad. This is the only change that I can find across all of the Super Mario world that was made to the map, and I'm not really sure why it was done. I couldn't find any secret level, so just kind of a bizarre choice.
Donut Secret 1.
So here we have the first underwater level. Now, in this level, again, he attempts to... Now, I keep on saying he, but I actually have no idea who made this. It's a complete mystery to me. But they try and make you go up through this pipe, right? And there's a really difficult area up there that was poorly done and really stupid, and I hate it. But they didn't think it all the way through, because you can just glitch through like that, and thus skip the entire part. Now, this gave me a lot of grief for a while, because this stage, of course, has a key that allows you to get to a ghost house and, you know, complete the game quicker. But I could not find the keyhole for the life of me. So I figured, oh, it must be in that really annoying...
Who has the key?
Exactly. I'm like, there must be in that really difficult area he created. He wants me to go through there. Not the case, actually. I can't wait to show you guys where the key is. Guess I should get this first. So not block myself. Oh, well, the key is here, I should say, but the keyhole. So yeah, I look around this entire level. I cannot find it. Who knows where it is?
Who has the key?
It's actually on this, like, pixel right there. You can't even see it when you find it.
We got it. And now we play the ghost house.
That Tommy Wiseau quote, by the way, I cannot find that for the life of me. I looked all over his Twitter.
What? Tommy, you didn't get rid of it, did you?
No.
If you're watching, I don't know why you would be, but if you were...
If you're watching... That's a tricky speedrun move.
It's nice. I'm pretty sure the most tricky speedrun moves involve flying with the cape.
Yeah.
Because it's a little overpowered.
What, the cape? The cape's not overpowered at all. What can you do? Well, Tom, should we call it quits there and move on to our next thing?
Yes.
That was Super Mario World Revised. It's really interesting. I'm going to review it, I think, because I want to talk about sort of the bizarre thing that with the level design in some of these areas. And it's also just a time capsule coming out in 2000s, very early, for a Mario World hack. Next up is interesting.
Digimon.
It's Digimon Adventure.
Did.
I think this is a release from DBS. So this is definitely a Chinese original. But it found its way to Brazil and then into my possession. This is based on the same engine as Pokemon Gold and Silver, I think. Now, Tom was playing this a little bit yesterday when I was showing it to him, and I think he almost had a rage aneurysm. This game is very difficult, and in the worst way, really. The controls are terrible. Your attack is bad. The run button and the jump button can't be used in conjunction, really, because as soon as you try and jump, you lose all momentum that you've been building up by running.
You should play this instead. I can't see the TV
okay.
completely because of the computer monitor being in the way.
So, yeah. Here we go. Y to run, B to jump, A to attack, and then the X button goes unused. Actually, I wonder if this got a Genesis release, now that I think about it, because I think Pocket Monsters did. Shoot. But I don't think I've ever heard anything about a Digimon game for Genesis.
Digivolve into champion.
You can actually change your Digimon's form. We'll try and do that in a bit.
Oh, and they
respawning enemies. A classic staple of the Digimon Pokemon series.
You turn your back for a second and it respawns.
Well, I'm gonna die. kind of unfortunate.
But it has all your favorite Digimon, but you can only play as Agumon. Because you wanted Agumon. Actually, you wanted Pikachu, but... Oh, man.
This game is just frustrating in such a particular way.
You hurt your Digimon too bad.
I was able to make it about halfway through before I just had to completely give up. Like halfway through the entire game.
I didn't make it to this level. And I got Greymon. I'm so good.
I did not do that. Tom found that you can transform into characters, which is something that I did not achieve during my playthrough. It probably would have helped quite a bit, and maybe I wouldn't have given up. Also, when you can attack in air is kind of poorly defined. The music is nice in a way, as I don't really like how you can't kill that guy without taking damage.
Yeah. Here we're gonna see the Digivolution stuff.
Something Bailey pointed out to me. Here we go. Strawberry transforms you. Just like in the television show, right? This happens in the show, right, Tom?
Greymon now.
You get the strawberry and it transforms you into a monster?
Yeah.
Oh, great hit detection. Yeah, the music, or not the music, but the sound effects can kind of repeat strangely every now and then. Oh, but something Bailey pointed out was that the music is vaguely reminiscent of
jump on that hopping thing again.
Mario Odyssey. Jump Up Superstar.
I can't hear it well enough now.
Well, take. Oh, I think I killed him. He like appeared over here for a second. No, I didn't kill him. That was his ghost or something.
I couldn't find the exit for this level. That's why I died. Gearmon.
Is Gearmon a real thing?
Oh, come on. It's definitely a real thing, Michael.
Like, I wouldn't put it past Digimon. I don't...
They just say whatever. The name of the Digimon is basically whatever they are. So basically what I do for when I play Pokemon and I nickname my guys.
So like the grass Pokemon is Grassmon?
I usually like base it off of whatever their Pokédex says they are. So like Magikarp might get like something referring to him being like an Asian carp.
Okay.
Even though I'm not sure if the Pokédex says he's an Asian carp. That jump is awful. Oh no.
For some reason, the people who created this game decided that vertical levels would be really cool.
They're all like this?
Well, this first one is, and then the second one has parts like it, and the snow level that I got to encourages it. Though you could technically take an alternate path and just not have any fun.
Can we be Chikorita?
It is unfortunate that there's not an option to play as a character with a flying ability. That completely makes the point of the game none so, but yeah.
I mean, you could also play as Totodile. Now you're forced to use your pepper breath.
Playing as Totodile on Pokemon Gold Silver for Super Nintendo is the most rage-inducing thing ever.
Your items don't respawn, but every single enemy does.
Oh yeah.
So.
Well, you didn't show up this time.
That's
actually.
Weird.
Just to prove you wrong.
I say that. one of Devimon's dark gears.
Oh, is that what that is?
I don't think I know.
Well, Tom, you're the Digimon expert between the two of us.
Oh,
I watched Digimon as a kid, but I've not seen it probably in like all the way through, in maybe a decade.
yeah.
Should I go this way and then try and like
I
scale
don't
up?
know if there's anything that way you can jump to. I would go the other way if I were you. Then use that cloud, maybe. Maybe you can get more.
There we go.
Oh, this is the exit?
No, this isn't the exit. We are very close to the exit now. Just kind of have to fall through here.
Falling after. Oh, they made us do all that work. Yeah. And then,
Still more. Gotta kill these two bears. I think they're guarding the exit. There we go. Yes.
Stage 2. Oh,
So this background reminds me of something. I'm not sure what. Looks kind of vaguely Pokemon-ish. Maybe one of the Game Boy Advance games. Though I think this game probably released before those. I guess.
probably, at least.
Yeah. The timelines for Super Nintendo bootlegs is still kind of unknown, as far as I can tell. They're not getting as much attention as the
I wonder if
Famicom stuff.
Digivolution only occurs when your health is at its max.
No, I don't think so. I think that it gives you maximum health. It's just the strawberry activates it.
What is it? What comes first, the chicken or the egg?
I have no idea, Tom. Did you see that video game donkey video, the YouTube simulator one?
I'm not sure.
Where at one point, like they show, I've never played the game, but like you can literally add philosophical comments as elements into your video timeline. I thought maybe that's what you were going for there. Hit him with the philosophical comment, and then a joke.
Oh no! I'm a millionaire.
when they like in a game like that, they break it down. Making money on YouTube really is just a formula of jokes and philosophical comments, and you just do enough of those in a video, and you make $1 million. Is how it works.
I'm a millionaire.
So that's my next. The next thing that I'm gonna work on is
adding philosophical questions.
Well, yeah, probably humor actually. Humor with philosophy mixed in.
I see.
The masses don't just want humor. They don't just want philosophy.
They need a taste of both.
Yeah, I guess that's why Matt Pat, for as many problems I have with that guy as I do, why his format is so popular, right? And maybe you really can break down the way people enjoy this stuff in terms of an equation. It's a little bit disturbing to think about, but
Oh, you got some philosophy there. Now make a joke. Make a joke.
Agumon looks really stupid when he jumps,
Oh.
and I don't know.
Ha ha ha!
Great job, guys. What do you hear?
Get good.
Ha!
What a story, Tom.
You gotta get the cherries, otherwise you're gonna die.
You beat this level, didn't you?
I did. There we go. Doesn't mean it wasn't a pain.
Oh, the
Wow.
spikes don't kill you? Are you kidding me?
Well, that's not entirely true, actually. I have been killed by them before, because I think they also have this effect where they push you into the ground. So they can actually kill you, not directly, but by pushing you off the screen.
Interesting.
Yeah.
For breath. Every time I can only think about it. I'm saying that.
Agumon's voice actor is so weird in the show. I wouldn't even know how to describe him.
It could be a her, Michael. And it's
well.
There's the strawberry.
Oh,
Digivolve into a champion. I'm Greymon now.
Isn't that actual dialogue from the show?
From the movie. Did you see that?
These levels go on so long, and there's no checkpoints, which is pretty frustrating.
Did you evolve into bigger champion?
Your attack also is horrible and takes forever to charge up. Dude, one attempt.
We get some stairs.
Well, here's the boss, which is what took most of my time. Getting this right was impossible. Because your jump's slow, and everything's slow. And the hit detection is bad. I mean, it seems to be going vaguely better. I had to beat him as Agumon. So it was enough. Oh, come on. Sometimes he just does not attack. Shoot! That's bad news.
You have to beat him as Agumon.
So this is why I gave up. You do have infinite continues as far as I can tell. So there's that, but
Did you beat him as Agumon?
yeah, I had to. I didn't even know there was a Greymon. Oh, you snowman.
Frosty the Snowman.
Are you just trying to inject the holiday spirit into this stuff?
Yeah.
The holidays aren't about rage. Even though this game is. Oh, I got him trapped in a pattern there for a second. Did you see that?
Yeah. But then you died. So it didn't matter.
And sometimes he doesn't even attack, which ruins everything. And when you can hit him and when you can't is seems to be completely random. Oh man. I'll completely confess that when I beat him it was complete luck.
It's always that first time too, it seems for sure that he'll go and mount an attack.
You also have this thing where how close do you want to get to him without being able to be damaged by
Agumon's attack seems to be faster than Greymon's. What?
Hey, okay.
We hit him way more than that before.
Now we're where I give up. This is where I quit before.
Maybe after you go ahead and become Greymon, you want to give up. Oh wait, no, you won't.
Well, it depends.
Oh my gosh, is it like the Hoth levels from the Super Star Wars game?
Honestly, that's what it reminded me of initially. That's what these foreground graphics even kind of look like. But no, it's more annoying than that. You got to take it really slow. You really start to feel how unfair the enemies are. And you gotta use every piece of health you can get.
Cherry. Nice.
Isn't there? No? Up here you have to spawn in the platform, otherwise it doesn't show up. And if you try and take the bottom route, it's like impossible, so it's necessary.
So yeah, play safe.
Also, the music here is oh, there's that platform, see? The music here goes from Mario Odyssey-esque to total trash heap.
The trash heap has spoken.
Laying down those hardcore Fraggle Rock references.
Yes. Don't you like how Agumon jumps like a second time after you land?
I love how he makes jumping sounds. So this is like about as far as I could make it, honestly.
You can go further. You can go further.
I'll just see about that. Gotta take it slowly, because when
because you never know what's going to happen.
That's exactly correct.
Who knows what's going to happen?
Oh, man. If I knew where the strawberry was, I could probably accomplish this, actually.
Strawberry. You're back.
You're back? Alright, so that was a bizarre happening. My computer just crapped out on me there for a second, so I'm gonna have to... What that means to me, anyway, is that I'm gonna have to mess with the archive and edit some video together when this goes to be posted. Anyway, I suppose we should return to Digimon just a little bit longer.
At least for our last life.
Yep. Before we just check out that Harvest Moon thing real quick and see what the deal is there. As someone who doesn't know that much about Harvest Moon, except for what Bailey's told me, it'd be interesting to find out. Oh, thanks. Thanks for reminding me about all this stuff, computer. I suppose I should bring up the chat just in case anybody has stopped by.
Do you want me to bring up the chat?
If you have the ability, Tom.
I think I do, but I'm not sure. I might need you to hold my hand.
Okay. Enemies love to stop just short of where you would be able to hit them.
Should I just restore?
Yeah, just restore. Riveting. Never had this problem before. Alright. Let's play more of this.
And try and get the strawberry.
I could get that strawberry. This actually might become doable.
Keyword there is might.
Apparently, and pretty shockingly, this game actually got a Game Boy Advance port.
Remember, Michael, you can't... Those enemies will always respawn.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of having to spawn platforms into existence either.
Yeah.
Something I'm not a big fan of. You're just supposed to know that they're there.
Yeah, Michael, you're just supposed to know. Why don't you know?
This game expects a lot of you. More than when I'm really willing to give. Like you're supposed to know that there's just a guy waiting there.
Is this? No, this isn't quite near where Strawberry is.
Yeah. That's the final platform of the Strawberry, but you can't get to it until you have to double back for it is the thing.
Yeah. But the Strawberry is worth it. Worth every last pepper breath. Can you
Ghost gets me every time. No, you can't.
That's awful.
It is. Okay, this might be happening.
This is our final. Digivolve into Greymon.
Sweet. Well, assumedly the level should be easier now. Even though really, when you get down to it,
Greymon.
He's a bigger target, and his attack is no better really than the previous one.
Yeah. It's Agumon is the previous one, by the way, Michael.
Sorry, do you want me to use the correct names?
Yes, please.
He also just looks kind of weird. Like, this doesn't look like the next form.
Doesn't look natural.
Yeah.
I like how he's just like, I can jump! He jumps repeatedly.
Well, he jumps all over the city in the movie, doesn't he? And, like, murders a bunch of people?
That's Agumon. Greymon doesn't come up until, like, the very end of that part of the movie.
Well, he destroys some buildings or something at least, doesn't he?
Against Giant Bird.
Isn't its name Birdmon?
If I'm pretty sure.
Oh my god. Oh, for... Jeez.
There's at least a cherry there.
This level is going on for ages.
Nice job, Pokemon.
Please tell me that's the end. Dude, yes.
Stage 4. And we're on Tropical Island now.
I like this tropical island.
It's much nicer than Ice Place. Probably. Well,
Can you jump on the trees or anything?
you can get the Digi-Orbs. They're probably called
Digi-Orbs.
They're probably called Digi-Orbs.
I don't think they're called anything. I think they're called... We need some sort of thing that you can collect, and when you collect enough of them, you get an extra life. Okay, so running through this level doesn't work, even though I wish it did. You can kind of run past the first few guys. Come on. He's so slow, like in terms of attack. I'm hitting it. Come on now.
The enemies respawn, Michael. God. Okay, Pepper Breath now. I mean, I'd say Greymon's range is probably better
Probably, I guess.
for its attack.
Maybe. I guess I could see where that would be helpful in this instance. What? Where do I go?
Like, keep riding
Oh, you had to spawn in a cloud. This level is just all about it. We have another vertical level. Hooray! Sweet.
Strawberry. Greymon.
Well, this changes everything now.
I wonder if we get another strawberry, if he'll turn into Metal Greymon.
You
And we'll
do.
be able to fly through the level.
Dude, I would be all about being able to fly through the level.
Yes.
I'd make reviewing this in the future much easier.
Oh man, those flame blades are back.
Basically, the only redeeming quality of the. Is there really nothing over here to help me? Okay. Of the Pokemon Gold and Silver game? Oh, neat. That was a cool feature.
Yeah.
Was that you could play as a character that could just fly to the end of the level. Without that, the game becomes awful.
Yeah.
And I feel like I didn't stress that enough in my original review, probably. Playing as Totodile is a hell nightmare.
But he has such a useful flash attack.
Isn't Totodile known for that in the games?
Oh yeah, he just flashes himself to everybody.
Boo. Is that the joke? Did we make the joke quota?
Yeah.
You have to drop the philosophical comment now, Tom.
Oh no.
You're losing them? You're losing them? Ah, Tom. We were almost a millionaire. Is this the same spot?
Yeah. Drop your Greymon mask.
Ah, dude.
And we're back.
That's painful. They made that jump a little bit too difficult. Just slightly. And it should be noted that like the jumping is not nearly as bad here, even as it is in Gold and Silver.
It's bad still though.
Oh, it's bad, but in Gold and Silver it is. It's just horrible, beyond description. Is there a thing I'm supposed to be right here?
There's a cloud that spawns in.
I'm really surprised that that's not the case over here too.
Maybe it's supposed to be the case, but
Is there something up here?
nice, dude. Nice.
That was
nice.
a really tight jump. The jumps in this are, yeah. They're worse in Gold and Silver though, because sometimes the platforms will start falling underneath you. Is he gone? No, wait a second. Really? I was expected to make that jump too? This is crazy. Darn. Well, Tom, should we keep on going?
No.
Okay. That was Digimon Adventure.
Digimon.
Hard to say which one's more interesting between the two games, but Digimon Adventure is at the very least unique.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to set up the N64 to try this Harvest Moon title, and then we'll be back. Play that for about 10 minutes or so, and then And we're back. So here we have my N64 hooked up with the Harvest Moon 64 bootleg.
And we don't know if this works. So
Yeah, we
this
have no
could,
idea.
This segment could be very short.
Yeah, I mean, and the N64 itself is one of the most finicky consoles on the planet, so.
Yeah.
Go.
Control. Oh.
Oh my god, it worked instantaneously.
Nice. Nicely done.
It's not outputting to my TV, though, for some reason. OBS is picking it up fine.
That's odd.
Let me cycle through the inputs. Maybe that'll wake it up. It could be that the signal is not interpreted by the TV correctly or something.
There's gonna be a lot of lag.
Okay, we're gonna try and play it off of the OBS screen. Oh, that'd be really weird if I tried to hear that video output low. Oh no, it's all going down. Let's go into the properties of the video capture device here and change the resolution, perhaps. I did something.
Maybe turn off the system too.
Wait 1 second, let's configure the video. Doing it live. Composite. Maybe allow 60 frames. Have I solved the issue? I've done something. We'll see just what it is that I've done. Still not getting any output on my TV.
Odd.
The N64 is the first console to give me any sort of issues in this regard, so...
He's gone. It's all happened so fast.
More live messings with... I've had some sort of video problem every time I've tried to do a live first play. That's some of the amazing fun to be had here. Alright.
Here. How about...
Maybe it doesn't receive the signal correctly.
You want to try another game?
I don't think it's the game.
Oh, okay. Just saying we could try another game and see if that would play.
Right.
Are you controlling it now?
Well, I'm controlling the screen, if that's what you mean. Or do you mean the actual game itself?
I meant the actual game itself.
No, I'm not. TV did something. Hey, maybe we've got it figured out. Oh boy. Okay, against my better judgment, we're just gonna try and play with the crazy lag, and you're gonna hear things that don't make any sense. Okay. Oh, that's so weird. Oh, look at the dog.
Such a cute dog.
Bailey, you gotta look at this dog. This dog's amazing.
Play.
Probably should just look at how to play. Okay, so let's test the lag here. I'm just gonna look down at the live readout time. I'm gonna move the joystick now. I mean, actually, we'll still do it at 2030 would make more sense. And we'll see how long it takes. And now. What is that, about a whole 2 seconds of lag?
Yeah. Hopefully we won't need much.
Oh, this is so weird. I'm like...
And you're doing it.
oh my god. So that's horrible.
Mike.
I would be interested to find out what the issue is with the resolution. Are the name and birthday okay? Yep. Enter your ranch's name.
Paw print. It needs to be a paw print.
This is a good idea, I think. I screwed it up though. One nice thing too.
You paw print.
Is that the battery on this bootleg, at the very least, the one advantage it has over a normal cartridge, is you can swap out the batteries easily. So you don't have to really worry about save problems. I'll just kind of
What a great name.
Abyssy. The name is okay.
No, it's not okay, but okay.
Well, I mean, at the very least, we can say that it runs quite well and it looks quite nice.
He just ate some bread.
Did. Oh no, this is this is horrible. Come on, get out the door. Oh wait, get out the door. Oh god.
It's gonna be okay.
Nice to meet you. I'm the mayor.
Question, shall I show you around the village? No, Michael, you should have said no.
Moon Mountain. Not to be confused with Mount Moon.
To the Green Ranch. What if they had like an owl from Ocarina of Time in this game? And you were just like, hey, oh no.
Oh no, I gotta get what you're saying. At first I'm like, thought you were just asking, what if there was an owl in this game? I'm like, I don't know, Tom. I don't know at all. You know what? I think we'll call it there. This will be impossible. But it looks nice. It's got an interesting graphical style. And it works, Tom. It works.
It's working. It's working.
So that is that. Thanks everybody who stopped by, and we'll have a better archive up in the future. But for now, I have this ending sequence for you guys, and then I'll see you next